The next thing we need to do is to give these lampposts a little bit of thickness. So I'm going to build up the bottom part. I'm going to put a little bit on the top there. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. It's very simple. I've got a mark here, which is where that goes into the ground. So this is the remainder above, and I'm just going to simply wrap a little bit of masking tape around there, like so. So they give it so simple to do. Give it a little bit of thickness. You've got to try and make them all look the same, of course, when you're finished. Cut that off, and that's the bottom part done. When that's painted, then it looks like it's thick there, and then it goes thinner. What I'm going to do now is to take another little strip, which is about, let me make it square first, get rid of that, and I'm going to make this, get off, and I'm going to make this about 1/4 of an inch thick, like so. And that little bit is going to wrap around the top here, and what I'm going to do is leave a little bit from here to here for the supports, the actual supports for the, well, that didn't stick, did it? Try it again. It will stick eventually. I just twist it around, and there I've got it. And what I can do afterwards is I can stick my supports in here. I'm going to make some brackets that are going to go in each of these 4 corners so it looks lifelike. So that's the next stage. I'm going to get all those done up to that stage now. Now those are all done, the next thing is to start putting the supports in. I'll show you that next. What I've done now, I've cut some very fine slivers of balsa wood, just little offcuts that you've got, and I've cut that down to this thickness, and then I've gone halfway through this to make it into 2 pieces like this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this at 45 degrees, and I'm only going to make it a little tiny little thing here. Now this is minute really. In fact, it's that tiny, see that little thing there? It's that tiny that I'm going to have to use a pair of pliers to pick it up. You've got to get it the right way. So I've got the miters. That tiny, you're not even going to be able to see it really. So now I've got that, I'm going to put a little bit of glue onto my lamp here, and I'm going to stick this in place. It doesn't matter if it sticks out a little bit more, because afterwards I can chop it off a little bit. It's not easy to do, as you can see. It's that tiny. So when you think you've got it right, by trial and error, or what other methods you can get, you leave it to set. Still not right. Golly, I'm going to cut a little bit more off actually, because it's just a little bit too long, believe it or not. I guess you could set a jig up for cutting these, but they're that small. You've got to work off the old principle again. A good guess is better than a bad calculation. So put my glue back on again. Actually got it the right way there. So with a bit of luck, That's going to stay there. I've managed that now, so I've just got to let it dry and then we'll take it to the next step. Now that I've got all of the brackets on, it's time to do a little bit of sculpting. So I'm just going to move those out of the way for now so I can concentrate on this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very sharp knife and I'm going to just chop off the surplus there to take it back to where it should be, level with the edge of the lamp. And then when I've got all those done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out the center bit. So I'm going to scoop it in a little bit like that, make a little V on it. And then go round to the next one. Got to be careful with this. And again, it's a sharp knife. Sculpt it out, a little bit at a time. And what I'll do now is I'll finish it off with I've got a small round file that I'm going to do. I think they might call it a rat tail file. It's a needle file anyway. And I'm going to shape those so that I've got some nice round shapes on. And if you look closely, you can see that it doesn't look bad, that, at all. Nice little file, this. Can you see? I'm going to show you pretty close if I can now. You can get the idea. I'll just twist it around a little bit, and you can see that's what we're aiming for on each of these now. We're getting much closer now. As you can see, I've got all of these lamps now, and I've got all these little nice little curves cut into the balsa wood there. And all we've got left to do now is to put on the arm that the ladder's going to go against. So what I've cut some very tiny, I'll have to put it on my finger so you can see how small it is. What I've got to do with that now is to shape it, make it round, and glue it on at right angles to one of the lamps, and then it's more or less ready for painting, except for the finials on the top. I've still got to sort the finials out. So we're almost there now. Things moving along fine now. So there we are now. We've got all 9 of the lamps completed. They've got all the little pieces there where they can put the ladder up against and stuff. So we're now down to the stage of painting. And I just saw some of these on the internet today. I just had a look out of interest, and you can get 4 of these in N gauge, which is smaller, and they were £13 something, so that's like $20 for 4. And you've seen how easy I made these, so I encourage you to not buy them. You get more pleasure out of making them yourself. So I'm going to start painting now. I've just got the finials to do after, but I think they'll stick better if I paint the tops first. So I'm going to paint all the lamps now. That's the next job to do. As you can see now, all the painting is done. I've got them all done. Oh, what's that? One of them's a different colour, you noticed. Yes, that's because it's going on the station, that one. I've done that in the blood and custard of the old LMS. So what I've done, I've taken all these things now. I've got all the arms on and everything, and I put the finials on top. Those finials were actually made out of blue tack. So I just sculpted them, put them on the top after I painted the top of the lamp, and then I give it another coat of paint afterwards. So you can see they don't look too bad, those now. So now we've got the fun bit. We can start to put them in. This is what I've really been looking forward to. This is Station Street, and this is where the lamps are going to be placed. As I said, the one will be going on the station as well, but I'll do that one last of all. So here we go with putting on the lamps. So I'm just going to use this awl. This is the only tool I'm going to use. So in other words, it's all I'll need. So what I'm going to do is to punch a hole through where the lamps are going to go, make it sufficiently big enough, and then I should be able to glue them in place. So here we go, let's get started then. Do the first one here. There we go. Let's see if it fits okay. Oh, it does a little bit on the short side. So what I'll do with the others, I won't go through quite as much. But let's see if we can get the first one in there. Lots of glue in the hole, and lots of glue on the end of the lamp as well. So there we go, first one going in. Now I'm going to need to find something to hold that in place. I'll leave that as it is now, and then I'll find something later to do it up. I'll do the rest of them now. Well, all in all, that didn't take too long, did it? There's the first one that I did in place. You can see the glue is still setting at the bottom, and managed to level it up okay. So as we come down Station Street here, we got another lamp here, one here, and we got one on the corner and one round the corner, and on this other row we got one at the corner, we got one in the middle, and we got one down at the bottom near the garden there. So all in all, I think that's starting to look pretty good. I hope you agree. Now on to the station. There's one more to do. As the platform is solid, I'm going to have to use a drill for this one, I'm afraid. So I'm going to drill a little hole there. Oh, that should be sufficient, I think. Well, it certainly looks okay to me. So get the glue out and get some glue in the hole. I'm afraid you can't see it very well, but you just have to trust me here. Put some glue on the end of this one. And in she goes. Perfect. Look at that, it even matches the sign that you can't see as well. How's that look now? Looking more like all the time, isn't it? Just give you a bit of more of an aerial view of it now. That's it, we're done. You should just be able to make out the lamp on the other side of the bridge there. That's from the track side. So now we're going to finish off, and I hope you've enjoyed the little tutorial that we've done. Now remember, this is just my interpretation of it. You can use whatever method you like, but I think it was quite successful. That it'll look a lot better when the glue's dried at the bottom and everything's looking fine. It'll weather in, and I'll put a few little bits of growth going out of the bottom as well. So there we are, that's it, another job done, one step closer completion if it ever happens. Hope you enjoyed it, thanks for watching, bye for now.